Welcome to day one of 30 days of reading short stories. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean one short story a day. Probably gonna end up reading more than one most days. But here's my physical collection. And then I have three others coming in from the library of Harlan Ellison, Shirley Jackson, and Carmen Maria Machado. So, a pretty good, I think, spread of genres and authors. But today, we'll be starting with Mr. Franz Kafka. I read The Sentence, which is also translated to The Verdict, but more commonly, The Judgment. Now, I don't claim to be a Kafka expert, but I've read Metamorphosis and then The Trial. So, I get the pretty strong vibe that most everything he writes is basically him that he's writing about, and that it's a very dramatized version of real life. And The Sentence does not waver from that fact in the slightest. So it starts off with him writing to a friend that's moved to Russia, and he's running a business that's not doing great, and he's not making a whole lot of friends. So George is trying to be as sensitive about that as possible, because on the contrary, Greg's having a great life. He's engaged, his family business is booming. So when he writes his friend, he's not lying, but not telling the whole truth. So he writes this letter and then goes to tell his father. And, it doesn't go the way he planned. And it feels like the implication is that this conversation has turned into George's intrusive thoughts being thrown at him by his father. There are different interpretations of this from what I've seen, but the way I take it is it comes off a bit as an excuse or a warning, I think more so, that if you spend too much of your life worrying about how others think about what's going on in your life or caring for others rather than focusing on what you feel, that it can come off as disingenuous and bite you in the ass, essentially. There's a lot of real life correlation as well in this story that I wouldn't say necessarily, makes it better or worse knowing. I'm so very up and down on Kafka. So I'm hoping getting through more of this will help solidify more of a solid opinion. I'll be jumping around between different books every day, so consider subscribing if you're interested in keeping up with that, and I'll see you then.